Hi, Sonik. Good evening. Welcome to the podcast.
Hi, Havish. Good evening. Pleasure being here.
It's my pleasure hosting you. We have connected after quite a bit of time, but I'm happy to see you doing so well and taking out time on a Monday evening to share your experiences with students. I think let's get started. If you could just tell everyone a little bit about you, your background, what is it that you're currently working on?
Sure. Thanks. So, I would make it in a chronological order. So, I started my primary education in state of Bihar, where is my hometown. And from there, when I was completing my studies, I haven't thought of even what I am here currently. So, when we start our studies, we often think of getting a good job or a stable job kind of a thing, mostly into IT sector because that were on the boom when I was studying back in 2008, 9, 10. But then later, when I completed my BTech in 2017, I landed up into a like different field. I would say it a non-traditional field. It was into a solar startup. Okay. At that time, many of us know that smart city projects were on the boom. Every city were getting smarter day by day. Even government was booming up into that. So I got selected into a company which are doing a smart city project. But later when I start working over there for like 7 months, I didn't find that job much smarter. So I choose to make a pivot and I went for my MBA from MDA Murshidabad. So there I learned marketing, operations, HR, uh, nuances of that into my first year and then some specializations. They were from leaders like you have learned business analytics and how data shapes the future of business. And then I landed again into a non-traditional sector because healthcare companies are not a choice for any MBA student. We often see something like a big four, big three, BFSI, FMCG companies as our future companies, dream companies, that term that is coined. But I landed up into a healthcare sector. Healthcare was something which was non-choosy thing for a MBA student. But then came the COVID. So I still remember I joined on 16th of March and on 25th March 2020, the like we can say the lockdown happened, the government announced. And that time, the only sector that was unaffected was the healthcare. It was like growing multi-folds due to various things. PPA kits to masks to oxygen cylinders to concentrators and many things. So there I grew multifold because in startup you are at the functional thing. You are grinding the things with your own hands. You don't have much bosses around you. You don't have much of a, I would say, hierarchy. So you feel the heat of the processes. So there I faced that. Then again some surprises because when you start something, surprises are there. So my company, my parent company, MetLife got acquired in another 9 months. So there is an interesting take that we were around 100 employees over there, and big three firm was given the part of the merger and acquisition. So they were given the responsibility to filter out people who will move from the sisters company to the parent company. So I was among the 48 people who moved to that organization. So that's another achievement I would say that you get filtered through a rigorous process. And
Right.
then I worked there into some things like new product development, partnerships, negotiation that I learned, vendor management I learned. And then I landed into Tata 1MG. It was just then acquired by Tata Group. So it was a small baby of the Tata ecosystem, a large Tata ecosystem rather. And we are still a small baby. After 3.5 years, we are still a small baby into this big ecosystem. So I have learned many things over here, grown multifolds again into the processes. Things changed uh, both culturally as well as technically because when Tata Group is taking care of your things, then it changes culturally. So this is what I've been from extreme south in Bangalore to north in Gurgaon, and then there is a change of, I would say, culture, weather, AQI. So everything changes a bit. So this is how I have been till now.
Awesome. Been quite a exciting journey. I'm sure it will be even more exciting going forward.
Yeah.
Um, can you share with us some key projects that you have done? I mean, of course, feel comfortable to only share numbers and figures that you're comfortable with. But more importantly, like if I ask you what are the three key projects that you've worked on, what would those be?
Sure. So one of the pivot journey, I would say. Before joining Tata 1mg, or in the initial months of Tata 1mg, I was only looking after the planning part. Okay, so that means you only make things on the Excel, you do some projections, and you ask someone to execute that. But later on, I got the execution part too. So I have to do both the planning and the execution, and that was something which was a quite learning moment for me, I would say, because I would be planning something for me only, and then I will execute it. So the targets are my own targets to meet. So that is something when you have to be fair with yourself. You have to accurately mark yourself against those targets. So you were on the both part, both ends. It's something like you're playing tennis on a turf. With both sides, you are playing just changing sides. So it was quite tough for that, because and then it was an individual contributor role to a team role. So I got a responsibility of 20 odd team members. So in are not doing just your work, you are making people work, you are measuring their work, feeling them like comfortable into the ecosystem. So that is something which changed my view of work culture, corporate culture, changed my working ways also. So that was one key thing that I would like to mention out of the three. Second was something which is still connected to my heart. Okay, so it was the second phase of COVID, and if you remember, second phase was something where almost every third people was getting a COVID infection. So almost one third of India was into COVID. So we get some calls from people who thought into their ecosystem that Tata One is something which can give me the thing that no one else can. So there was a strict parent, a couple from Kolkata, and their child was around 13 years, and he was, I would like to mention, on deathbed due to the COVID infection. And the doctors have prescribed some medicines, and that was not available into the Kolkata because of the thing happening that time. People were hoarding things, supply chain was broken, people were not even getting the basic medicinal items. So when it came to me, so usually how happen the companies, these things come to your front runners, your front employees, and they tackle this. But when this came to me, I felt that I should personally handle the situation. So this medicine, interestingly, was available into two distant corner of India, one into Panchkula, which is in north, and one was into Kottayam, into Kerala. So these manufacturers were based out of that. The doctor may be knowing somehow them, so they referred that he will get the medicine over there, and he was correct. We got the medicine. Now the challenge was that the patient is on that bed. He will be needing that into the night, and we were sitting at 11 a.m. Now how we have done? So we started creating a green corridor kind of thing. So we arranged a bike rider, from that place to the airport. On airport, our person was there with an air ticket. He took that medicine, sat on the aeroplane, and when he landed Kolkata, our rider was again on the airport. He took the medicine, delivered to the parents. After 20 odd days, we got call from that couple. They thanked us, and that is something which is close to my heart still after 3 years. That I have done something which saved life, and because we are working in healthcare, but we are not doctors. We don't wear that happens. But yes, we are also contributing into a way that people lives are dependent on us. So we have to be ethically correct and have to be always available. So that was I told that though the working is 5 days in our office, we have to be available 7 days. Uh, and third is something which is again an interesting thing, and that is connected to data. Okay, so I would like to mention it. So it was for a big public bank in India. So that public bank approaches that we have a good number of employees, and also the retirees. We have some retired employees, and they need medicines. So why not you supply them? And you need to supply them on a consistent rate. That you have to give them a concession, and we will. copy it kind of a thing. We will bear it. So when the team that started this project, what they thought, so that this bank has regional centers. So they mapped all the employees to the regional centers. Okay, and they made the data that this will be the demand. But the actual game was that these employees, though tagged to their regional centers, the retired employees were residing into their villages, which was the remotest place, and some have the cross geography also. So as per the reports, paper, they were into a, let's say, regional center Ahmedabad, but actually they were residing into a regional center Hyderabad. So the whole model that was designed for the demand forecasting got crashed. Okay. On the third day, then we have to again sit, redesign the system with the actual coordinates of the people. Because if you see everything with the eagle sign, that is not going to solve the problem. You have to sit closely with the data, the actual transactions. Because when we see some data, we got just excited, we run some kind of a progression onto that, and we get some numbers. But when actual business come, things are very different. And that only comes, I believe, with the experience that you face into the thing. This is something which can be taught in the B schools only via the case simulations. Just running through the textbooks won't help them much. So
Right.
these were some of the things that I faced.
Very exciting. Between Tata 1mg and MedLife, how are the supply chain challenges different?
Okay, not so. See, when MedLife was there, it was a kind of a baby into this ecosystem back in 2020. The things were opening up. We were facing retaliations, like literal retaliations from the offline pharmacies, the associations, the politicians involved into it. That online pharmacies should not furnish in India. That were the demand from the government, from the bodies, the administration. And in newspapers also, the things were surfacing that courts won't allow, high courts won't allow that. So that was another thing. So for midlife, challenges were different because they were the early thing. They were the first movers kind of a thing who were designing the thing. So they were facing retaliations, but still they have like clicked the right button to get the solve. What killed them is the instant geographical expansion. They were kept opening warehouses across the country without seeing the demand. They were just using the forecasting numbers. So, but that weren't be actually transition. So that was a challenge for them, and that killed the entire supply chain and ecosystem, warehouse cost, everything. And that was the time not for the quick commerce. Okay, people were okay with having medicines, 3 4 days. So I would say midlife was before a time for the quick commerce. So that is the correct state. It was before the time. Nowadays, people are demanding that they want the medicine in 30 minutes, 10 minutes. That time, midlife was giving them, but they were not ready to accept. So that was a challenge for midlife. Now for Tata 1mg, the challenge is different because coming from a family of Tatas, you have to be ethical into the system. You have to be sustainable. You can't do any single mistake with your brand because your brand is attached to a bigger brand. So I would say apart from the on-ground challenges of the supply chain and all, being ethical is the biggest challenge for us. That how to do the business ethical. Even our partners have to assure that they are ethical into the system. They are not doing anything wrong apart from the SOPs, policies drafted by the government and all. So more of doing our regular work, we also have to keep our eyes on the regulations, policies. So the things are different into these two chapters of life.
Right. Let's jump to our next section. So I want to talk about data. You mentioned data a little bit earlier, but if you can dig a little deeper into that.
Yeah,
So when it comes to optimizing pharmaceutical supply chains, if you can just tell us in much more detail, what are the tools that you use? What type of data analytics, visualization, forecasting is done? And maybe if you can share, one real world example.
sure. So see, for unlike any other supply chain, unlike any other e-commerce vertical, or unlike any other retailer, the core data work is used to do the demand forecasting. the code or metrics, what will the flow of the patients, like customers onto the platform, what will be the convergence, what type of product they will be buying. And here you have to, in fact, dictate the actual SKU they will be buying, stock keeping unit they will be buying. And we transact roughly around 3.5 lakhs SKUs. Any other retailer in your neighborhood, they will be transacting max of 10K,
Yeah.
10,000 SKUs. But in our thing, the scale is enormous because we cater regional demands. Some products are there which are only sold in north, some are only sold in south, but you have to keep a mix of that. So the data goes into this, that where the demand is, how to make the cohorts based on the patient age, location, therapy area, diseases. So that is another thing. Now getting deeper into it. So by using this data, demand forecasting, we do our inventory planning. That we have to keep the right SKU at the right place into right amount to suffice the demand. Now let's say when winters arrive, this year is an interesting year. We are talking in a interesting year. So when the winters arrive, we usually take a 4 month period for winters. Okay, that for 4 months for some SKUs like cold, cough, fever, respiratory sales will be high. So we stock these things higher. We use some multipliers into our system. Now usually this winter is from November to Feb and kind of a thing. Now this year this has shortened.
Mhm.
So again our inventory planning has gone for a toss
Right.
because summer is coming earlier. We are experiencing 26, 27 degrees Celsius in NCR. So due to that, some summer SKUs are picking up demand, which used to be done into April, March kind of a thing.
Mhm.
Again, this year the pollution was very heavy. The AQI is worst. So the demand for air purifiers, masks, they went like anything. So then again, or things go for toss. So this is an interesting play where data we have done a preparation, we have done a forecasting, but still there are some factors who can push your things into a air. So you can't be really dependable on this thing. You have to take on environmental factors also. You have to take searches. So we also do searches planning into our inventory plan. So people are coming on our platform and searching for a particular SKU, though they are not buying it. They are just searching. We accumulate that data also. And then we do a inventory because if people are searching, they might be buying into next another 2, 3, 4, 5 days. So unlike other platforms, we also do that. Then this inventory planning is done, everything is done. Now comes an interesting take. So by the medicine that a patient is buying, so in our platform, buy as a patient, you also have to give the patient name and a consumer name. So maybe you are buying for your parents. So there will be 4 profiles created for your parents, your like family and all. Now we also have diagnostics. We have a lab test and all. So we have also put on to that. Then we are designing a LLM model where aligning this medicine that you've consumed, the test that you have done, the parameters, we are going to help you with the predictive analytics that at this age, these diseases may enter into body or may affect your immunity system. You have a high chance of getting this by this age. That is something we are trying to develop as an organization, which will be a I would say a reforming change into the healthcare ecosystem. Recently, we have collaborated with Google and Samsung for their wearable devices. So we are also tracking data from those. We are creating the customer personas, and from there we are planning to develop into a predictive healthcare platform where with your vitals, with your numbers, you can predict that by what age you will be diabetic, by what age you will be developing a heart problem. So that is something where people haven't thought of data yet, but this is something which other platforms should also do. So this is my take.
Right. When it comes to on-time, in full delivery rate, what are the biggest data challenges?
Okay. So this all will like wholly depend upon the inventory planning, right place, right time. So let's say we have demand of a particular skill at $650, which is much into the trends, and let's say fever is getting on into adults, doctors are prescribing that. But you have like pulled down a lot of medicines into warehouses. There are thousands of strips. But on a single day, you have got an order of 900 strips, for example. When you plan to replenish, you will get 2 3 days to replenish. So you will stock out for a situation. So to avoid that, we use multipliers that our top running SKU is there and a season is coming. So though the system suggests to keep 1,000 strips, but usually keep 2,000. We give a 2x multiplier. That is something manual. We have a team of pharmacists who use their like product knowledge, the thing that they have learned into 4 years, and using that they do the manual tunings to the data, to the system data, and by that we ensure that we don't go out of stock for some running SKUs, which contribute to like a Pareto, 80% of our business. So this ensure that my OTF is 99 and plus. There are some tail SKUs. There are some SKUs who go for a toss, some are bid. So that we procure in the GIT just in time. So whenever the order comes, we procure it from our partners who are our affiliate partners kind of thing. So this is the key. The data goes in and then some manual tweakings also. And these manual tweakings we keep as the logs, and then we train our systems to make a better forecast for the next season or for the next quarter.
Got it. Let's move on to the next section. So I want to talk about ethical and sustainable pharma supply chain. Now, we hear a lot about ESG, ethics, and you have mentioned it several times
Yes.
for a number of reasons. One is the organization that you represent and also the sector that you work in. So it's a
Yes.
combination of two things. But help us understand when we talk about ethical pharmaceutical supply chain, in practice, what does that mean?
Okay. So when we say ethical pharmaceutical supply chain, we mean authentic medicines, having a authentic source, having authentic supply chain through which I moved without any injection of the external factors, and then getting delivered to the customer into the right condition. So let's say, for example, we deal in insulins. So the insulins are a cold chain product. So the temperature have to be maintained between 2 to 8 degrees Celsius. Okay. Anything exceeding that is something which we are doing unethical, because that's how the product works. If that product goes even up to 8.1 degrees Celsius, the efficacy is not the same. The patient may take it, but it won't be beneficial for them. So from the company depot, from where it starts to our warehouses, it comes in a complete cold chain with data loggers inside it. The data loggers are connected to our systems, and if that exceeds even 6 degree, we get alerts into our system that something has broken up. So that's how we track the systems. Then again in our warehouses, it's under the controlled temperature. All the warehouses. So our warehouses are as big as 30,000, 40,000 square feet, and everything is air conditioned, because medicines have to be kept under 30 degrees Celsius. And in cities like Delhi, normal temperature is 40 degree into the summers. So you have to keep your warehouses cold, cool. Our cold rooms are active 24 into 7. We have alarms, loggers, alert systems, power backups for them, so that the quality is intact. And when we deliver it to the customer, we also send the temperature that we have sent. So it comes with the ice cold box and all. So this is how we are ensuring that a medicine which is meant for efficacy, which is meant for treating a medicine, a disease, sorry, is going correctly to the patients. So that we call ethical. Now, the industry that we are in, even a small mistake can kill someone. And that's how we thought. So even someone is like sometime making a life-saving drug, and if that doesn't work due to our mistake or the temperature mistake or anything, that is something where we will be guilty, and might not be legally, but yes, in our minds, in our heart, we will be guilty. So that how we always abide by the descriptions, the policies that a pharma company laid down, and we have our regular audits into our warehouses by different companies and all. So we follow that. into the rules.
What would be some of the roadblocks that are there in the Indian market, when it comes to making things efficient and sustainable at the same time?
See, the thing is that ethical things and sustainability comes with a cost. This is something which loads up your system with something more. So let's say someone has a warehouse of, let's say, 5,000 square feet, and to keep it cool across the day, it will cost around 1,200 rupees every day. So a small entrepreneur who has just opened a medical shop can't run a system like a air conditioned system for the day. Uh, that's his problem or something. That is a cost for him. And that's so people don't do it like with their own mindset or something. They are not doing it because it will cost for them. It will be hitting their books, and it's not like they don't want to do, but they don't have the what we say, the opportunity cost to do that. So that happens prevails in India, we know, but government organizations, policymakers, they have to think onto that people should be ethical. It's not like they don't want to, but they don't have that opportunity cost to do that.
Got it. All right. So, next section, let's talk about leadership, innovation, growth. You have scaled both generic specialty medicines, handled both the categories. What are the strategies that have worked best for you when it comes to driving that growth?
Okay, sure. So these are two different things. So I will explain how these work. So generic medicine are we heard this word many a time. So people like portray this as a low grade medicine which are available for cheaper markets. It's not like that. These are I would say cheaper like substitute to a branded medicine when that has got off patent. So medicine when researched, they got a patent for 20 years. So till 20 years, no other brand can make them. But after 20 years, and in some life-saving drug, the government intervenes and it get off patent before 20 years also. Like we have seen in the COVID vaccine. It was researched and then it got off patent just in a minute, and every other company was allowed to produce that. So when it got off patent, many companies manufacture that because Indian pharma market is so vast. We are 140 crore people living over there. Then they have the need of medicine. Our per capita income is not so high that people afford tablets of 700 per step. So generics is the need of our in India. And apart from India, there are some markets like Africa, Southeast Asia, like Bangladesh, Bhutan, Myanmar. Their per capita income is even less than ours. So generics is something which is a need for them. So generics medicine is something where you play more with the mental discount in the patient markets. So let's say they are buying a medicine for 70 rupees per tablet, and you are offering them something like a 7 8 rupees. The pricing is same, the MRP is same for both. Just you put on a discount of 40%, 30% kind of a thing. And if it's from a good brand, mostly how it happens in India, the same company is making the same molecules, a strength combination, one into a branded thing, which they are selling at 700, 800 rupees, and a generic version, which they are selling at 100 rupees. So this is how this pharma lobby operates. So my job was to educate people onto that. So we created some campaigns to educate people that generic medicine also the same efficacy. Your doctor, you have to ask your doctor to give a substitute. Because what happens really in India is the doctors write brands onto the prescriptions. And that is a wrong practice. Even
Yep.
MCI, government, they have highlighted many a times that you have to write the substitutes of cheaper substitutes, like a Genosdeep type of brand, so that people can afford that. So we just educated the customers, patients to ask to their medical practitioners to write the salt names, and then they can buy any brand of their choice. Generics are morely of the same quality. What differentiate them is for branded, they have very stringent checks and balances. For generics, it is more much levied. It is not such interesting, but yes, the quality is good. So I scaled up the business, I guess 16x into 12 months. So that was the jump into this business, just by educating people and asking the right questions to their medical practitioners. So that was one thing. Then again came this specialty medicine. So by specialty, we mean something like neuro, which is related to brain, nephro to the kidney, and onco to the cancer. So these are some of the specialties which India suffers from. Uh, in we can see, especially North and East India, it's like a cancer capital of India. You will feel many patients, many hospitals, government initiative going into that area. So this was some of the business which was more of the hospital-driven business. How it used to be, doctor writes a prescription, and the MR, the medical representative, was just standing outside the cabin. They just take the prescription and they will take you to a designated shop into the city that you have to buy it from there. What we did, we democratized that market. We took that product, published on a website, we have given all the product information, and we passed more of the discount to the patients, because these are some medicines which almost kills the patient family, because these come as a cost of 2 lakhs rupees for a 30 tablet strip. So this is much higher for a country like India, where majority of people earn less than 2 lakhs a year, and we are charging 2 lakhs just for one strip. So we changed that nuance. We educated our patients again, because to create a category, you have to educate people first, because you are the first mover into this sector. Uh, and then things went well. Many companies then also started acknowledging this. They helped us. Uh, there are many patient support programs where you buy 3 4 strips and you get one strip free. So there are many programs like that where they support the patients fight these disease which are chronic in nature, because in these diseases you have to eat, like take medicines for 2 3 years kind of thing. So these are some two categories which was needed for a country like India where we operate, and we have done this successfully. Now others are also like copy pasting the same formula to it, and it's actually a good thing. These kind of thing I appreciate someone is copy pasting, because at the end the beneficiary is the patients whom we all want to cater.
Yeah, very interesting. How easy, Sonic, or how tough is it to manage vendor relationships across, I'm assuming, hundreds of suppliers?
Okay, so this is again an interesting thing. So my vendors are expanded across 18 states currently. So 18 states, 18 geography, 18
Hmm.
language,
Hmm.
18 mindsets.
Yeah.
So you have to like, one thing is very sure, that if you have to be ethical, your partners need to be ethical. So we have set up our partners like in a way that they also align with our goals into the business. They don't do anything wrong into the premises. They have a strict policy of having no child labor. They also maintain their products into a temperature that we maintain. They all have a cold room facility. All their manpower is trained how to handle the products. Because in pharma, product handling is again a art. That's why this is the industry where you need trained resources. You can't bring someone from the market and ask him to work into a pharmacy next day. This require experience, because the products are sometimes alike. You may give X instead of Y to a person, and there may be repercussions out of that. So you need sound people to handle the products, and people need to differentiate between two products easily. In pharma, you must have heard the term LASA, look alike, sound alike. So that is again a thing where technical manpower is needed. So our partners have trained their manpower into our systems. We also do some knowledge sharing sessions with them. I have personally visited all of them. Like I personally visited, met their people, and I've seen an interesting trend I would like to share. I have been extreme to Chennai, to Guwahati, and to Ahmedabad. One community is there which is having their presence everywhere. The Marwadi community. So Marwadi community have a strong hold into the pharma distribution business. In Hyderabad, Chennai, even I have found people who are doing this business in 70, 80 years. And similar in Ahmedabad and Guwahati also. So they have like the business into their blood. And to be honest, they do this ethically. They don't want to earn money quickly. They want to run their legacy, which their father, grandfather has given to them. So due to that, they want to align with our goals. They want to learn new things. They want to be technically sound. Um, some of the distributor we have seen, they have excellent softwares running. They have all the manpower running on the computer. They have scanners into the system, uh, robotic platforms into their warehouses. So some have developed like anything for them. So this is how you align your partners with your goals, and then they work in sync. Because you, when you try to milk your partner without giving them some benefit, then there is no relationship between them. It's more of a give and take. So you have to make a balance. You have to align their goals with your goals, and then it's more like a family.
Right. Final question in this section. What does innovation mean to Tata 1mg?
Okay. So see, as a Tata Group organization, innovation is something that's in our blood. We do something every day, every month, every quarter. But more of the innovation came into last 1 year when the whole industry was shifting into a quick commerce industry. We were a core e-commerce industry like Amazon, Flipkart, and we have to become another Blinkit depot. So that was a challenge for us. So we have to almost pivot our systems from a 2 3 days delivery to 10 12 15-minute delivery. So
Yep.
that was a complete change to our systems. So we started with it. We opened some of the dark stores, which are more of a retail store for us. Our retail store work as a dark store, and then we also piloted this into Gurgaon, which is a testing background for companies like Zomato and all. So we tested that over there, and results were phenomenal. So people really want medicine sometime quickly. We have seen people putting up at 11 a.m. asking for a nasal drop for the kids. So people actually need medicine. And if we are not delivering, they have to wait till morning, and their child will be in congestion till night. So this is the need of hour. We also understood that. So we are like running our quick commerce now. We have learned from our industry partners. I would say Jepto, Blinkit kind of thing. We also partnered with Zomato for our deliveries. So when someone books a medicine from us, they might get a delivery from a Zomato rider. So that how we work in collaboration rather than fighting with each other into the ecosystem. So this is the change or innovation you can say when a complete company of 4,000 member had to pivot into another quick commerce industry where you are fighting with new blood of people. So it was a painful process into the transition, but yes, we have done it. Uh, we are now reaching newer geographies with some more partners, and there we'll go ahead with the things.
Awesome. Final section, final question. What is the advice that you have to MBA students? Um, the advice for MBA students who want to enter the pharmaceutical, the procurement industry, what are the skills that are going to be important in the future? Students ask me all the time, what are defensible skills? Now we have generative AI, digital transformation, of course, has always been there, but I think generative AI has completely transformed the way things work. So if you
Correct.
could just, sort of share your insights on how should, let us say, a first semester MBA student plan how to pick the right career path, and how to prepare for it.
Great, great. I feel this is something which came in every MBA participant mind when they enter their B school. Okay. See, after you enter B school, you have two choices. One is to align with the traditional careers that we talked in the start, that you prepare for a big four FMCG, BFSI companies. And one, I always call this as a non-traditional career, where you prepare for companies like healthcare, generative AI, companies like Zomato, Swiggy, Big Basket, kind of a thing. So for these companies, you need to develop some new skills. Okay. So there are some key, I would say, terms of the designations that has been developed by these companies only. So product manager is again a thing. Product manager term was coined only for this e-commerce companies. Then category manager is there. Nowadays, you must be seeing a term called program manager. So it's again something which has been developed over here. So to get these designations, first you have to be data driven, because that is something every company demands. So when we work as managers, we don't. So earlier, what used to be managers, senior managers, they used to get a MIS person, like a personal assistant to them,
Yeah.
who used to make Excel sheets, who used to fill data and make PPTs, and they just go and present before the leadership. Nowadays, you have to be your own MIS person. You don't have someone actually to rely. You have to create your own dashboards. You have to create your own PPTs, and that is something which is demanded from day one of your job. So someone must have to learn SQL, R, Python. Excel is something which is the must. It is just something like how speaking English is. Uh, Excel is something that important nowadays, and not just basics. So some people may be asking VBA programming into your internship, even interview. So that is something which they should prepare from day one into their business school, because see, reading Kotler is another game. You understand how business works, but when you have to do the business, that is again a different ball game. And it won't like I am going into finance, I won't need the Excel. I'm going into HR, I won't. This is not the thing. Everyone has to go through this phase of SQL, data, Excel. So this is something which they should start from day one. And since you are the leader into this space, you can better comment on that. But yes, this is something which I've seen. I have interviewed people for last 4 years, uh, including the campus placements, and I've seen this is the lag that people are having. After 2 years of their MBA, like 18 months, they are not even writing a correct VLOOKUP array. So that's a painful thing. And this I'm talking of the prestigious institutes, because and they know the business well, they know the quarter well, they know the models well, but they lack the basic thing that we are looking upon. They can't even write one line of SQL array, and they have to do this when they come to the company. Because see, in India, we are a industry where everyone hasn't invested much into SAP. People, business are still running on Excel, Google Sheets, and all. So you need to learn that. You won't be facing a SAP setup on a day of one. So you must be having Excel skills. You know how to do VLOOKUP, how to do pivot, how to count if. So this is something basic. Second, is the communication is the key, because whatever skill you know, you will perform when you join. But before joining, you have to perform your soft skills. So your communication is again the key. Your hold on the projects that you have done. Projects, I would like always recommend having minimum 3 projects into the 2 years. Uh, Two amalgamation of business plus thing, and one into your core thing that you are going to do, maybe HR, marketing, operations, because this gives you a platform to talk on an interview. Let's say your interview is for 20 minutes, still you need to have the 20-minute content to deliver. So there I have seen people failing, because how elongate your introduction will be. It will end in 2 minutes, 3 minutes max. But for us, 17 minutes need some content, and that content comes from the project, internships, some of the live projects you do, case studies you do. So that comes from there. So this is again the second thing I recommend. And the third is do certifications, but do them for learning, not just for making a CV pointer. So learn that, put that into practice, download some seeds, do practice onto that, uh, work for a live project with some senior industry person. So these are the 3 things. If someone do in a best set, uh, they will be landing into a good job, I would say, out of the campus.
Excellent. Sonik, thank you so much for sharing your experiences, your learnings, and the guidance that you have given towards the end. I think it's very helpful. I also hope a lot of students would be excited towards building a career in this industry. You know,
Yes,
I think, like you said earlier, it's not just a job, but I think the organization that you represent, the industry that you work in, I think it's bigger than that, right? And I think
yes.
that is what makes it exciting. Thank you so much for taking out the time.
Thank you for hosting me over here. Thank you, Avish.